The salesperson, when they wake up in the morning, typically, whether they're a neophyte or they're a veteran into this, they wake up and they have a fantasy. Their fantasy is this appointment's going to be a good one or this perfect situation that they're going to go out and they're hoping that they're able to make a sale. Then reality takes in place. They hop in their car, they drive an hour, they drive 15 minutes away, and they pull up to the house and it looks anything but what their fantasy was, and it starts to affect their attitude. And what I want salespeople listening to this to understand is it doesn't matter what it looks like when you get there, how you handle it is what determines what the outcome is going to be. So that is the preparation. See, your customer, when they picked up the telephone or they answered the telephone or saw you at a fair or an event, they signed up for something specific, which was a free estimate or a free in-home evaluation of what a particular problem was. Our job is to simply go out and do that. And while we're doing that process, we're going to get them closer to wanting to do business with us because we're showing them that we care about solving their problem. And I want to dig into that in just a little bit further.
Okay, but let me put it this way then. When I see you do this live, you talk about the value system of the prospect and the needs of the prospect. A, why is it important? And B, how do you find out these things, what the true value system is?
Well, it all begins by listening and asking the right questions to the prospect. But here's the first part of this. I don't want to overcomplicate this. But if you want to uncover the value system of the customer, you have to be able to listen. You can't listen unless you know what you're going to be talking about. So the very first step is to learn the presentation that you're about to make to this prospect verbatim. Practice it, rehearse it, have it right here ready to deliver when you go in. Now, you do approach the prospect with the right attitude and the right language to set the stage. Then ask very specific questions like, oh, what's important to you about this project? Or what's the biggest problem that you're having? How long have you been thinking about doing it? What's prevented you from getting it done until now? What are your expectations about this project? These types of questions give you information, and that's what determining their value system is all about.
Yeah, but suppose they already know that, the salespeople listening, they already know that. I do that, I do that, I do that. What is a series of steps they can use to improve their professionalism in establishing this value system, uncovering the specific problems and conditions? Every one of the products sold, you'll agree, might be installed differently. Every one of the products has several grades. Now, how do you go about establishing the value system of these people you're talking to, and early?
You may be thinking that you do all of these things, but look at it just a little bit deeper. What's behind the questions or the statements that the customer's making? For example, you're there to sell one particular product. Well, that particular product may have to be installed 4 or 5 different ways to solve the problem that the prospect has. We just can't assume that we have this one-shoe-fits-all type of installation because the customer might think they have a one-size-fits-all type of installation. So once we ask the first question, we got to layer behind that question. Think about it this way. That customer is in their house for a reason. Why did they move there? Did they move there for the school system? Did they move there because it was closer to the job? Did they move there because that's what they could afford or what they wanted? All of those things tell us clues as to why they might be looking to get this other project installed. So by asking those questions, we uncover more and more and more of the customer's value system, but it's about following this process of step selling. So as we uncover this information early, then we start using it in the rest of the presentation to find out even more about them and show them how your products and services will actually solve those problems. Now here's a quick exercise for you. Think of just 5 things, just 5 unique things that your company or you offer that nobody else in your marketplace offers. Write those down and then show the customer how you are different in a delivery in your presentation when you're showing them. That builds value and exclusivity in what you're offering and gives you a better value proposition at the end. The presentation is building on a plan that sets you up to make closing easier, not harder. But it isn't all the questions that you ask.